everyone, welcome to another episode of Lounging with Leonie. I am your host, Leonie. Today we are going to be talking about studying abroad and being an international student and all the experiences that come with that. And joining me on the lounge, I have the amazing, the most beautiful girl from Burma, introducing Moe Moe Myintzue Aye. Did I get that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Or I will be calling her from now on Mo. So thank you for joining me on the lounge, Mo.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay. I invited you because we are talking about international students and studying abroad.
Yeah.
And you came from a different country and you chose to come here to Sydney. So where did you come from and why Sydney?
Yeah, so I'm come from Burma, which normally not many people know. I came here when I was 18. It was always my dream to study abroad, but I didn't really know which country should I go. So after I finished my high school, and then I did a bit of like a journalism college back home, and then I did well, and then I realized I want to do something like that in abroad. And then me and my mom met this agency where we talk about we research about different university in Sydney and what degree I wanted to do. The original plan was civil engineering.
Oh, that's completely different.
I would be like, I would keep failing. I would be like, because I'm not even good at math, and I don't know why
I'm not good at math either.
I don't know why I want to do that. And I was like, civil engineering or architecture. Okay. Because my mom is like, yes, engineer, lawyer, doctor. Because she clearly knew that I didn't really interested in doctor, even though my father is a doctor, but I have no interest. So she was like, doing a second plan, engineer, someone who is everyone look up to and all this stuff. So I decided that something media study or something like that, and we talked a lot with this agency. So we went to this agency and we talked about it, and we choose US or Canada, like Australia. We used to look at a lot of university and what degree I want to do.
Yeah.
And then the only reason to decide is it wasn't glorious, but that's closest to my home. My mom is like, I can came, Asian mom, I'm like, you're closer to me. I can come to Sydney 5 hours trip. I can just be there. Yeah. So she was like, Australia will be better. And then after that, you can go wherever you want. And then we look into the university and stuff. Just when I look back at it, it was best decision that we talked to the agency and stuff. And then we decided somewhere more appropriate for my family and me. And so that was first time I came to another country by myself.
Oh, wow.
Normally family trips, when I was young, I went to a lot of other countries and stuff. I think that's also give me idea that I want to study abroad.
Yeah.
So really the original most original plan is to go to Singapore and study there, because that was the most familiar country when I was young.
Is it a common thing for students in Burma to want to study overseas?
Yeah, I mean it depends how privileged you are, right? A lot of my friends have scholarships and stuff. I would say I'm really lucky and privileged enough to even came and my parents support me. A lot of my friends are also get supported by their parents and to go to abroad and study as well. Back home, I would say there's really difference between education systems in Australia and then back home, and there are a lot of university and stuff, mainly for medicine, doctor, those universities are really popular. I couldn't get into any of them because I was such a bad Asian student, Asian daughter. I was really bad Asian daughter because I didn't really do well in high school and stuff. I was teacher pets, but I wasn't because of my grades or not because of that. I was just really obedient.
Yeah.
I always follow the rules and everything, but in terms of subjects or in terms of studies and stuff, I didn't really want to I mean, that's another thing with education and stuff is so different. It's more learn everything by heart. If you have incorrect answer here and there, you lose a lot of marks, or everything is by heart. It has to be exactly the same as the textbook. That's also good that I did that way, and then now I'm really good with remembering stuff.
Yeah.
But another thing is I don't really like it, and I didn't enjoy that much. After high school, our choice back then is like doctor, engineer, or maybe lawyer, something like that. And I have this university, engineer university that I wanted to get into, but my marks was so low. I think at that time, that kind of like going to abroad and study, it's kind of sparked a little bit.
Yeah.
I couldn't do here, so I'll just go somewhere, like go somewhere and study. But then I have to do maths and stuff, and I was like, no,
not maths.
not maths. I want to do engineer, but not maths.
Well, that's good. That's good that you had the opportunity to actually come abroad and study something that you're actually more passionate about than just forcing yourself to become like an engineer or something.
I think if I do like civil engineer degree and stuff, because I have like a lot of Burmese friends who are doing civil engineer, like a lot of mechanical engineer and stuff, like they were struggling as well because it's hard, right? Like if I were doing that, I would be failed. Like I would be failing all the subjects. So it's good that I didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the school system in Sydney, like growing up in Sydney, is almost the same as what your experience was. Like you have to like remember all the textbook stuff, yes, and then the tests are basically based on what you've learnt in the textbook. So I was also good at that, but like the math and the science stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much harder.
I thought it's gonna be really different, like, because I thought it was a bit more like Asian, culture where you have to like remember stuff.
No, I think it is like a lot of just remembering textbook answers, especially for high school. And then I think like math and stuff is you have to like remember the formulas and everything. So when I look back at my school experience, it's like, what did I really learn except to like learn how to remember things?
I feel like I didn't remember anything now, because I think it's memorizing is like, even back home we were memorizing like maths as well. Like it's horrible. I don't like it. Because after that I feel I didn't learn anything. Now when I look back at it, like, because I have friends who were really, really smart. I have this friend who is like the whole Burma. So like out of all the Burmese like population, he was top 1. So he the highest mark for the high school. So like they were talking about this and that with like high school like textbooks and stuff. I didn't remember anything. I was like, it was I don't know, memorizing wasn't like my thing probably. But like when I came here, it's more like critical, like in the foundation that I was in before I get into university. It was more like critical thinking and like a lot of like essays writing, but it's not like memorizing stuff. It's more like giving opinion and reading a lot of resources and stuff.
I think the experience from high school to university is a lot more different. You're definitely taught to think for yourself and be more critical and problem solve.
Back home, we don't have a year 11 and 12.
Oh, really?
No, we don't.
So you just...
So I just graduated from year 10.
Yeah.
And then I was like 16.
16,
like,
okay.
I was 16. And then after that, we directly go to college. College.
So what subjects did you learn in high school?
High school? So we have like Burmese, like Myanmar, and English, biology, chemistry, physics.
Okay.
Maths.
Yeah,
like that. That's a high school.
Okay. And how did you kind of like find your passion for what you wanted to do after high school?
It was for me. I personally just everything is based on personal, because if someone from Burmese hearing this, they will be like disappointed. For me, it was just like engineer. Like I was surrounded by a lot of people. Like I have really, really close friends. And I would say one close friend, she wanted to be doctor when she was young. She was reading all the, like, like a lot of kind of like anatomy or like a human.
Are you sure she just wasn't curious?
Probably that sounds like her though. That sounds like her. She was like interested in that, so she was reading a lot of those kind of stuff. After high school, she didn't really get the good marks to get into that really top 10, like medical school, and then she just went into like second options. And then during the time when she was kind of like studying to become doctor at that school, she didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
So she literally changed to psychology, something like that. I think it's back home, I would say not about like passion or anything. It's just how you're surrounded with. It's kind of like a brainwash thing. Like back home, like when I was young, it was just like there's not many options. If you become an artist or like if you become something like that, it is not like, you know, reputation. Kind of like, you know, Asian have like saving a face, kind of like that kind of thing. So the reputation would not be good.
Yeah, I think it's the same with most Asian cultures and most families. It's like no one expects you to grow up and become like a garbage man or something, even though they get paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's more like you want to have that reputation of being a doctor or a lawyer or something.
It's like saving face was really, really like important for our culture as well. Like how people think of like your reputations, and if you're a lawyer, if you're like serving your country, or like if you're serving for people and stuff, they're really important. I mean, like it's like everyone wants their reputation to be good, right? Like, but it just really limited at that time.
So journalism, is that seen as something like that is good now? In like how does like your parents and you know your family see that?
Journalism wasn't like something that I was passionate into, like getting into. After I was crying for my marks that I didn't get into engineering degree, I was like, nah, what should I do now? Like, I don't know what to do. So it was just kind of like a replacement for me to get into engineering. Like, to go abroad and do engineer. So during that time, I was doing maths and I was doing mathematics and stuff. I was going to like math school and do all the different stuff, and then I was like horrible. It was horrible. do you know that there's like KMD, like Kumon?
Oh yes, is that like those tutoring?
Yes. And I was paired with like bunch of young children.
Oh my god!
I was so like my ego was bruised. I was like, why am I here? And they were looking at me like, why are you here? Because they were really good at maths and I wasn't that good. So they want me to start it from the beginning. And I was 16, 17 and I was paired with a bunch of young children. And I was so embarrassed. So like it only took me 2 days
How
to
young
get...
is young?
Young, it's like
kindergarten.
No, like
not that young.
10, 12 years old. I was so like ashamed of myself that I tried to like get into like upper intermediate level by like 2 days, and then when I get to advanced, I couldn't do it anymore. It was like the whole day you have to like solve this problem, the booklet, and then you solve the whole problem, and it took me like the whole day. It was like it was advanced level. It was so hard. So not many people graduated from that college as well. So I was like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do that.
That's okay. My math was also really terrible in high school. Like math was not my thing. I actually got like I think 0.5% in one of my tests, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna fail high school because I can't do math. And
what, 0.5 out of 100?
Yes, like it was really, really bad. And I think it's also like it depends what teacher you have as well, because I had really shit math teachers who didn't care, and they had to like, you know, teach 30 students and everything. But then I had one really good math teacher who saw that I was struggling and actually took time to help me understand the math, because I think that was a big problem. It was like I wanted to know the logic behind why I'm solving this stupid this math problem. And then I think it felt like a full-time job, like having to understand math.
I can do like creative writing like in Burmese and stuff, like essays and stuff, or like English and stuff. English was my favorite subjects, and then the other stuff I couldn't do. And then I'm trying to get to civil engineering, so it wasn't happening.
It's not the right.
So right journalism wasn't like that popular. Like my relatives and stuff, they didn't really dare to talk to my face. Probably maybe they was judged and stuff. But I mean like my mom was kind of as I said, she was like a wall to me, so I didn't really get that much judgment, but for sure it wasn't typical, like kind of like that. And then it was always like starting to get comparison and stuff, like, oh, my daughter, like another relatives, or like another, oh, my daughter get into like this like medical school, engineering school and stuff. And then I was like, okay, there's also another thing with like back home, there's a marked difference between guys and girls as well.
Oh really?
Yeah, because if I put it simply, if a guy get like, for example, 75 out of 100, they can still get into like good university,
What?
like medicine's engineer. because the reasoning is that they men and they don't
so
need to like
sexist.
kind of like that. But I don't think, I'm not sure right now, but back then it was such a like gap between a girl. So a girl has to get around like 80 or 85 to get into that kind of like good school and stuff. So there are a lot of guys in medical school, engineering schools, and I have like a bunch of guy friends who are doing civil engineer here. So that was kind of like, that was kind of a gap as well. At the same time, with me not doing well in high school and marks is not good, so I have no hope.
And also apparently being
being a girl.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I have no hope in like getting into that. Yeah, getting into those good high school.
Yeah,
like,
I think they just expect you to marry them.
yeah, they just wait until they become a good doctor's engineer and marry them. Probably, maybe like just do some knitting classes or something. Yeah. I was so angry, and then, I was like, okay, whatever. It's kind of like it was expected. So
I totally understand the comparison thing, because like growing up, my parents also compared me to other students who were doing great at math and everything. And like in math, I was actually writing stories in my math book rather than doing the math, which is probably another reason why I failed. But it made me realize, like, this is actually what I'm passionate about, telling stories and being in communications. And it's like, why should I be ashamed of doing something that I love instead of like forcing myself to be an engineer or like a doctor or something?
Medical stuff.
So I think it's really good that, like, you know, people like you and I are kind of breaking that stereotype. Like, being a doctor or a lawyer is not the only thing that Asians can do. So that's really good. So now you're in Sydney. And you are working in the communications industry.
Yeah, working in marketing.
Communication. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Like, especially being an international person coming into Australia, different culture, probably different workplace culture too. What has been your biggest like challenge or?
I think that first of all, like when I came here, it's mainly like working culture. It's pretty laid back. Even just like not just working, just like study and stuff. It's pretty like laid back. I think that the thing is like the way they like tutor and people like communicate each other. For example, like your teacher, they call them their name, something like that. Back home, if I call their name, I'm gonna get slapped in the face.
Oh, really?
Because I always like miss, or like I would call in Burmese way, you know, like teacher, someone like name. We have kind of like a big boundaries between each other. We more like teachers and students kind of relationship, so we never dare to like talk about other stuff. When I came here, like people start calling them like Andrew, like, you know, something like that. So I was like so weird. I couldn't call at first. It was a struggle because I was not used to it. Like calling a teacher with the name, and also like listening to like thick accent and stuff in Australia.
The Australian accent.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm get used to it, but like some of the thick ones and like slangs and stuff, I have to get used to the slangs and stuff.
So what would you call your teachers then?
Like back home?
Yeah.
I would call like teacher like put the pronouns instead of like for example Miss or Mrs. like someone kind of like that. So I didn't really like use their first name.
Right.
Like didn't really call their first name.
It's like their first name and there's no last name.
We don't have a first name and last name. I saw it.
That's so weird.
In Burma, I mean, like it is what it is now. That's why all the like Australian like documents and stuff, when they asked me for a last name when I came here, I was like, I have no idea. I just put the last name of the last name, like literally the last the last and like the words. Yeah, that's
So is that what you do now on forms?
Yeah, now what I do. Because there's no last name, like there's no like parents' name, like no surname. There's
So
nothing
what's
like
your
that.
last name then? A?
A.
Hey.
Hey.
A-Y-E, yeah, that's it.
Hi, Miss A.
Miss A.
Yeah.
Mrs. A.
Yeah. So like all the students struggle with that, you know, like we don't have a last name and stuff. So that is also like another, you know, not cultural shocks, but difference. Like even Asian culture, they still have surname. Maybe just Burmese people can relate. Not many people can relate as well. Yeah, I think that's the like language barrier and stuff. I was scared that I couldn't like fit in. So what I do best is study all the time. The first few months was so hard to make friends and like catch up on like studies and stuff. And actually I was getting to like those Australian shows like Bachelorette, like, and there's survivals and stuff.
I love Survivor.
I have this like small television in the corner
Yeah.
at that place. So I was watching like survival bachelorettes and those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Getting into like proper
Trying to
I don't know
understand the
whether
Australian
it's a proper
accent.
Australia. Yeah, probably. And then I mostly like studies all the time and trying to get into the university. So I didn't really like make new friends that much. Another thing is that college has a lot of more percentage of Chinese like students. So more like they are like more grouped to each other. Us who were just Vietnamese or like Filipino and stuff, we grouped together.
Did you meet a lot of like local Australians, or was it mostly international?
Mostly international.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, I think that's why like even I still have friends on my like Instagram and social media. I saw they're still like in touch with those people from that college because like international students like stick together most of the time.
That's so true.
Because the thing is they have like more common stuff to talk about, and even though it's from like different background, they're still international students, right? They still have go through a lot of like homesickness or like a lot of rental stuff or like settling down, because at that time the college also like support us like opening bank accounts and stuff, so we have more stuff to talk about at that time.
Yeah, I did a year abroad in Switzerland, and I was trying to integrate and find local students to like talk to, but it was just so hard. Like everyone around me was just international students, which is a little bit sad because like I want to go overseas to kind of experience the local culture and stuff, but then you just kind of get grouped into international students' life, which is interesting. I mean, but you've been here for like 7 years now.
7 years. I mean, I have local friends.
Yeah.
Like I think I would say when I get to university, there's also always still a struggle. It's always a bit of maybe like in the beginning a bit of not much confidence in like when I reflect back like for 4 years, not have enough confidence to like talk in English that much. So because my degree is media and communication, right? So I have to talk. I don't know why I'm saying that. I'm scared to talk, but well, it starts somewhere.
Yeah.
So I was in a bunch of like local students, like Aussie, like white students.
Yeah.
And I was just me by myself with like Asian looking.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't talk. Like I just couldn't push myself to talk. It was such a fun experience. At the same time, I have no idea like what they were saying. It was too advanced for me. Like a lot of them were so passionate. Like a lot of students were like arguing back and forth, doing debates and stuff. And I was like, why am I here? So I was just amazed by how passionate they were, like arguing and everything. And I was just like, okay, yeah.
Honestly, I think it's really impressive because like I did communications too in university, and I mean everyone in my class was white, and being like the only Asian person, you stand out, and so you already have that barrier. But like I look at you and you come from like international, and now you're also it's like, oh, that's so impressive.
I mean like the first few years I'm just like trying to fake it. I make friends like in like tutorial and everything, even though it's hard. Just try to speak up as much as you can whenever you want.
Confidence in yourself.
Confidence in yourself.
I feel like there needs to be some sort of course in school or something to teach people how to like speak and be confident, because
like public speaking.
I feel like a lot of Asians actually like
that's
that.
totally true, because you are taught to learn how to write, read, but you never learn to taught to speak.
Like when you don't speak that enough language, you don't have enough practice, like you don't have enough confidence to like
true.
It's not like day to day like thing.
Yeah, it's like when I was in Switzerland, I had to like speak French with people, and it was so
Were you fluent
hard.
in French?
Oh, I wasn't fluent, but I was learning French. And I understood that if I wanted to get better at French, I would have to actually speak in French. But then you're already like so scared to even start because your level is so low. So then it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like, oh no, I'm so bad at speaking this other language, and then you never practice, and then you just that's it.
I think I knew how to speak English, but probably because I wasn't practicing that much, so I was out of practice, and then it's hard for me to get back to it. And then I think coming to Australia was just like like throwing yourself into the water and like learn how to swim, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So you just have to speak. Like you have no choice. Like
you have to practice. You have to do it.
You just have to like speak through it. Like you don't have any choice anymore.
Or just date a local.
Yeah,
just
date a local.
Yeah, I think that applies to like anything you do in life. Like if you don't practice, you'll never get anywhere.
Yeah.
So whatever challenges you're facing, just do it. Practice it. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
Have you experienced any sort of racial discrimination being in Sydney?
I think I was more lucky that I didn't really have much. I didn't really have many experience. One time, so I came back from this religious event. So we were mainly Buddhists. We were pretty like, we have like different cultures, but I grown up as a Buddhist. So I came back from that Buddhist like events. We were in like all, traditional clothes and everything. We went to the city, we got on the train, and then there was this bunch of like high school students, like local high school students. They start like saying different stuff. They start saying like racial slurs and like what they're gonna do, because all of us are females and as well. When we were talking in Burmese, it was like shut up and everything. They think that we didn't understand like English, and then they start sending us like different photos of like nudes and everything. So it was such a like, because catcalling, right? Catcalling was, I think I'm sad that it's become a bit more normal back home. Catcalling I was expected, even if I'm like clothed like just in a traditional dress, like from top to bottom, I still get catcalled. But here it's more like racism and also catcalling at the same time as well. So it's like everything combined, and also sexism as well. So everything combined, and then they're like saying different stuff, and then tell us to shut up and everything. I really want to do something, so I just like stand up and just tell them to fuck off, and then I leave. Like I got to another carriage and I sit there. So this kind of stuff probably, and also like probably like one of the things that I remember still is when in uni, I was in this public relation unit. The tutor, he's white, and then all the other like students were white. There was only like 3 of us, like Asian looking. The whole semester, he never talked to us. Like he never like question, like he never. Whenever we have questions and stuff, we answer, we give our opinion stuff. But didn't really talk much to us. But I thought I was just in my head, because I was just thinking, oh, maybe because I'm Asian, like kind of like a biased thought. So I just like kind of observe how he was, and then most of the time he wasn't talking to us at all, kind of like that kind of thing, like maybe like casual like race,
passive
kind of like
racism,
passive, maybe like kind of like that, just casual like racism here and there. But I didn't really have like really really like traumatic experience.
But also like being an Asian woman, minority, you definitely get the worst of it, I mean,
I still got like catcall here, and like even like walking on the road, and then they beep their car and stuff. I just couldn't, like, I was surprised. I thought I was get away from catcalling from home, and it's still here.
But I think it's safe to say that most men in all countries there's catcalling. Like even when I was in Switzerland, I think my experience, I think it was in France or Spain when I was there just on a holiday after being in Switzerland. I was just walking with my group of friends who were mostly Asian as well. And then I just hear like ching chong or something like that. And I was like, whoa, like I did not expect that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if it is like that, there is just different like response, right? Like, how do you respond to that? Like, some of them, like, my friends want to ignore, but sometimes, you need to throw a little bit of hands so that it will make sense next time.
Yeah.
Kind of
God,
like
you're
that.
advocating violence.
It just keep happening. If you ignore it, they will get like, oh, we will say it again and again.
They'll think that it's okay to say.
But sometimes, like, you don't want to level it up to the violence as well. But in that kind of situation, I don't know how to respond to it. Probably until they don't really like throw hands. We don't really need to throw hands. Like, just talk back.
I think
maybe
it's easy to respond these days. You just bring your camera up and press record.
So this racist fucker.
Well, there will be like there will be in terms of like suing things and like privacy issues and stuff. If you like. Yeah.
Well, I mean, now I think most people can get in trouble for being racist, especially with like social media. People will rally against and to help you, be like this is wrong, and like we're on your side. But I think being in the moment when you're by yourself or with a group of friends, it's a bit scarier.
I realized there's another interaction as well. So I think I came back from trip with my friends, and then I was walking from station to my home. It was in the city, so it's like brights and everyone's there, and then there's a bunch of like white girls, like high school, I don't know, high school girls, or I don't know that. One of the girls like, I like your head. It was girl, okay? I like your head, and I was wearing head, and then after I passed her, she says like slut.
Oh my god!
She's like, what a slut. I was wearing like tank top and then shorts.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what a slut. And everyone around here, and I don't know what to like tell her. I turned around and looked at her, and I was like, I don't know what to say. It was so loud that everyone's like amazed. Like I was by myself, but there's other people like looking at us and looking at me. They were like, how she's gonna respond to that.
So living away from home, how hard? Like what has been the biggest challenges for you?
The first few years, it was more like, for me, I'm only child as well, so I'm so used to living by myself. I mean, like I miss my home, but it was kind of like you kind of release the fish into the ocean kind of thing. I watch a lot of like English movies. I watch a lot of different movies. I was kind of like prepared to like see a lot of different stuff, especially like shopping, like, you know, Sephora, like this kind of, you know, like this kind of, I have seen them in like different countries, but I wasn't like, I have my mom to like, you know, look at me when I was shopping. But I was like by myself. I can do whatever I want, you know, like I was such a spoiled kid, but I was ready to like explore around and stuff. At the same time, it was kind of struggling like with settling down. But then other than that, I'm pretty like get used to it. And I was in my own little like bubbles of like studying, go to college at the time, and then came back home. And then sometimes I stay in my room like studying, and then after that I went out and like go shopping and stuff. So the first few years was like kind of getting to like whole new world by myself and trying to like learn to cook for myself. I can't cook, so I tried to cook for myself and try to adjust to like living by myself, and I really enjoyed it. I think it's difficult part is like, you know, like not seeing your family, or like, I mean, I talk to my mom every day, but it's different. So mainly just kind of like you don't have like support system that much, but you have friends. So
Did you ever feel homesick?
Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah. I think I don't know if like people listening, like with like Indonesian students, would feel the same thing, because the homesick that I personally have is like when I went back home for like before COVID, I went back home for like 2 months, and then I stayed there, and then I enjoy, you know, like there's people around me, right? Like there's always people around me. There's my mom, my cousins, my grandfather, like my uncle, every like 24/7. They're like not when you sleep, but like most of the time they were there. So I was like used to, you know, like noises behind me. And then when I came here, and then I was in my own room, my own little room, and I wasn't, at that time I didn't share with other people. I was just by myself. So it suddenly becomes so silent. And this, in my second year, I was depressed, literally.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I still remember the feeling of like, I closed the door, I came back from airport, and I get to my place, and I closed the door, and suddenly like so silent, like the whole room was so silent, and it's like nobody. Like at that time, I told, right, I didn't really put an effort to nurture the friendship. Probably that is how I was like hyper independent, kind of like I have myself, you know. At that time, I was trying to focus more on my studies, so I didn't really have put in any effort to nurture friendship.
So would you recommend international students to be more proactive in nurturing friendships?
I mean, like, you never know like how long the friendship is gonna be, right? It is hard to like settle down and everything, but friendship helps, like friends help. You can't do everything by yourself. I mean, you will get through it, but when you're like, for example, for my case, when I get in my place, I was alone, literally. I have no one to talk to, and I didn't get out of my room like 2 days, 3 days, because I was so depressed. There's nobody there. I was like by myself, so I was like trying to isolate myself. And then suddenly like it's like a bunch of people like around me back home, and then there's suddenly no one.
I had the exact same experience when I went to Switzerland, and then I got into my apartment, and I closed the door. And then I was like sitting there, I was like, oh, I have no like reception on my phone because I don't have the local SIM card, so I can't talk to anybody. And I was like, oh shit, did I make the right decision? I'm so alone.
Yeah.
But then like I think to myself, like now looking back at my time back then, like I had housemates, roommates, and if I could go back in time, I would make more of an effort to actually get to know my roommates better, breed that friendship. And I think that's definitely an important piece of advice for anyone, going abroad, studying.
I think I would say if you're going on, like abroad, I would like recommend to stay in like share house or like share apartment with people. The first room that I got is just by myself, like the studio by myself. Like there's nobody like I was talking to. That's why it's good to like have in a share house where you have to share a lot of places like living room and stuff together, or like just where you can socialize with people more.
I think my priority was like I just wanted to see a new country and explore it. When it comes to socializing, it's not like a huge priority for me, but I do value it. And so when I reflect back on my time overseas, it's like I wish I did prioritize socializing a bit more, because I feel like it would have made my experience
I think a lot of people
better.
don't put enough emphasis on how important it is to socialize as part of your growing. I have a lot of acquaintances from my time in Switzerland, and then I think to myself, oh, it would have been so nice to like actually get to know them better, and then you have like deeper connections with them, and then that would have made the experience a whole lot better. And it also like broadens your perspective on life too. Like you get someone else's perspective. And like sometimes, like right now, what I'm thinking about is like, oh, there was this really hot Norwegian guy as a roommate that I had, and I wish I like got to know him better, because now I'm like,
God.
And sometimes I see him on like Facebook, and I'm like,
You guys talk to each other or just
no, like we were just flatmates, and I tried to talk to him. I was like, oh, sorry, Norwegian. But I think he had a girlfriend at the time, so it's fine. But I find it's impressive because like we both chose to go to a whole new country. Like that in itself is scary. And then we get there and it's like, we don't want to socialize.
Another thing is for international students, it's easy to stick to international students. I mean, like for even like just saying, I still like have a lot of Burmese friends and stuff I just hang out with most of the time. But back then it was really, really easy to like just stick to international students, just because we have a lot of common stuff to talk about, even like same language.
Makes it easier.
Or even like make life easier. And then in other because my best friend is Vietnamese, but even though she was Vietnamese, we have a lot of common stuff, like a lot of common problems that we were facing and stuff. So I would say I did my best in like coming to another country like by myself and then do everything. So I don't think I would change the thing, but I would push myself to socialize more.
I think it's also good to travel and to be an international student, or it's like, because it does broaden your mind. You meet so many different new people.
Yeah, it does.
And it opens your mind. I think being open-minded about different people, and it's so important.
Yeah, like differences and stuff, like cultural differences and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
What has your experience being in Australia away from home been like during the COVID pandemic? Has that been a challenge for you?
So when the COVID started, I came back from Burma in like March 2020, and it was like right before the lockdown. I was like slipped into it. At that time I lived by myself. I have like student accommodation, and I have like 6 people share room, and the whole day was just by myself. And then most of the time I didn't really interact with anyone. Like there was 2 weeks that I didn't see any human being. Just by myself, like kitchen. I was going crazy because I didn't have a socialize. I didn't socialize. And I was really isolating. And then after they opened up a little bit, and I move in with my friends. And then at that time I was doing like uni, and uni was finishing. I was going to graduate, and then I started searching jobs during the last lockdown as well.
Was it hard financially during lockdown for you as an international student?
So with the first lockdown when I was in uni, I was supported by my family. I wasn't like doing anything. I wasn't like I didn't really have a job. Compared to other people, I was pretty late to like being financially independent. The one thing is I'm privileged enough to like my family, you know, like I always remind myself that I'm privileged enough, because there are people out there who have to work like two jobs and stuff to support themselves. It has always came with like going abroad, like you have a guilt inside you, like family supporting you, right? With a lot of money, because compared to local, us international students, like I think everyone would agree, like we paid tons and tons. Like it's ridiculous. Like even graduation, you have to still pay your graduation.
You have to pay
ceremony.
for your own graduation.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And then if you want to deliver that piece of paper early, you have to still pay.
Oh my god.
Even delivering to your home,
Yeah.
you still have to pay. Like if you want it early, if you don't want to wait until the graduation ceremony and you need that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Not a piece of paper.
I know, right? You studied so damn hard and paid so much for this piece of paper.
You could have better off buying a Porsche.
International students, for me, every year the money goes up a little bit.
I'm really curious. How much was your degree, if you don't mind me asking?
I was telling you about I didn't really remember. Is that like 100?
Oh,
that's before accommodation,
80,
survival,
yeah,
living.
180K.
So it's in the 100Ks.
Yeah.
Shit.
It is.
That's
like
what I'm saying. It's a
accommodation.
Porsche.
And it's except from like student accommodation and stuff.
Shit. So just as a comparison,
Yeah.
an international student is paying over 100K for a communications degree.
Yeah, communication. Imagine like engineering and medical science.
I did communications, but I also
Yeah.
did a combined degree. I only paid like 40,000, and that's like that's the government loan.
Yeah.
And you probably would have to pay up front,
Yeah.
right?
Pay up front.
Jeez, our universities are being funded by
Yeah.
international students.
Yeah, that's why after COVID happens, like when we get back to that, COVID happens, a lot of international students, they defer their they pause their degree and they go back home and they stay with their family, and then a lot of university are like struggling because there are not many international students. There is a difference between like offline and online experience, right?
Yeah.
Like what is the point of paying that amount of money doing everything online?
Exactly.
But I think like, yeah, I've just done it like past 2 years with online, right?
Yeah.
I still pay the same money and just online.
It seems like a rip-off.
Another thing was like, the older I get, I was realize a little things.
Yeah.
Some of the lecture in our unit are like pre-recorded. So they use like old recording. They didn't like put in many effort to like record it. We did online and we didn't really do practical stuff that much, which because of COVID, and we still pay a lot as well.
This program is brought to you by Skillshare. It's way much cheaper than fucking university degree.
Please come to abroad and do just diploma and do be more practical and stuff.
The idea of like studying internationally but in your own home is just so weird.
I think really you're just paying for the prestigious as well.
Yeah.
Of the brand, you know?
Yeah. Like
I wouldn't.
Yeah. I already paid.
Yeah, I mean, you're already in Australia though, so that's different.
Yeah.
So for all the years of study, what it has been the most valuable lessons and the experience, whether it's a subject or a course,
in terms of like media and communication kind of like courses,
that leads you to where you are today.
in terms of like the whole thing, I really enjoy more like practical stuff. More like going out there and like shooting like videos or like doing podcasts like this.
Thank you.
Like this. And like
So I guess what I'm asking is, what advice would you give for other international students who's in similar boats, and what should they be encouraged to do?
I think I would say just to explore, because all the university degrees are abroad. For my degree, they give you general ideas of like basic skills, like they have like journalism, like PR, or like video shooting, podcasting and stuff. They give you basic skills, but for you to like, it's up to you to explore.
I think just start doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like for me, when I was younger, I knew I wanted to do something creative. So I started my own blog and I started making videos.
Yeah.
And that was not because, you know, my degree or my subjects told me to. It was
Yeah.
more because I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And then when I got into university, a lot of the stuff that I learned was actually more theoretical than practical. And I
Yeah.
realized like this isn't going to get me a job
Yeah.
anywhere. And my first internship, I actually got the internship because he saw that I already had made stuff by
Yeah.
myself, you know,
Yeah.
videos and blogs and stuff. And that's how I actually got the job,
Yeah.
not because of like an assignment I did at
Yeah.
university.
Yeah.
So that'd be my advice, is just to do stuff.
Yeah, I think I realized it when I get maybe like a little bit late, and I realized that I would like if I have to get advice, I would give them to like do stuff and then
Yeah.
explore around what you like.
Yeah.
But like you don't have to like know what you like, right? You don't have to
Exactly.
be like certain about like, oh, I want to be like like engineer. I don't want to be like creator. Like I have to like specifically that. It just
give it a
keep
go.
exploring and give it a go and like keep doing it.
Well, you said that you said you feel like you started a bit too late, but I do. I think as long as you
And
start.
I feel like I'm old, 24.
You're so young. Oh my gosh. If I could be 24 and you right now.
Oh god.
Like I think you're in such a great spot, and I really admire that, you know, you're actually going out there and asking to help out with like my podcast. So Mo's actually been helping out behind the scenes with my podcast and learning a lot, which is, and then I invited her to be a guest on my podcast.
I think because I really like admire you as like you have like courage to. I think I would have an idea of it, but I wouldn't like make myself to do it and courage.
Don't make her head any bigger.
Don't make my head bigger. Well, I think you're doing great. You're only
thank you.
24. Oh my gosh. When you're my age, you're going to be just like amazing.
When you're,
Oh, you're making yourself sound so old, but you're not old.
Me?
yeah,
What do you
you're
mean I'm
not.
not
Big
old?
brother is the real old.
Big brothers.
Well, like the reason why I'm pushing myself now is because I feel like I wasted so many of my years before just not doing anything. So I really want to like just go for it now. And yeah, I definitely
Why do you
encourage.
think why does it like what was the reason that you didn't
That I didn't do anything? I think it was just like there was a period in my life where I was actually really depressed and I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do as well. Like I knew I wanted to create things, but at the same time I didn't know what my skill level. I had like a lack of confidence in myself, and to a degree I still do have a bit of lack of confidence, but now my mindset has changed, and it's like you're never gonna give it a go. You never know what you're gonna achieve. So I think that's what's changed.
I think it's also important to have the right mentorship and people around you to guide you the right way.
That's really true as well.
The people who are around you are really important.
Yeah, like if people around you are not pushing you, like to, like not supportive.
Yeah.
In terms of like creativity and stuff, or like believe in you, what you were doing, it's you just
you've joined the right crew, Mo.
I think so. I did. Yeah, I did. I think I did really make a good choice in like surrounding people, like choosing to. I just need to rock climb now.
Yeah. Once you start rock climbing, everything's set.
But creativity is hard, even like compared to engineering, like medical. I mean, like
people think it's easy, but it's not.
Yeah, everything is hard, right? Medical, doctors, engineer, they are hard to some extent. But creativity is hard as well. It's not easy at all. Yeah. It is like you have a creativity block. You don't know what to do. Yeah. Because I have my friends who are doing like music. He also struggled. Like everyone, like creativity industry, you struggle with putting yourself out there. You just put there and you like let people judge you.
That's
like
true.
No matter what.
You're putting a piece of yourself out there for people to judge. I actually saw a really good quote today about like how people who aren't creative, they can so easily judge like a film or a book or whatever just like that quickly. But the work that goes into actually producing a film or to writing a book is like years often. And they just don't understand how hard, like how much work goes into it.
And then the courage to like put it on the internet. Or,
exactly.
Like right now, there are a lot of like trolls and a lot of like negative people, a lot of like kind of like just keyboard warrior kind of those people like there. So it's even harder like before to like put on social media, put yourself out there.
When I first started, I got a lot of like hate comments or something.
Really?
It would like hurt me a lot, and I would actually cry, and I would think about it in bed like, oh my god, nobody likes me. But now I think over time you definitely develop a thicker skin, and like you realize practice. And it's like, well, one hater versus like 100 other people who actually take something away like good from this content. That's all that matters. Well, Food.
Yeah.
It's the time for food.
Is that the ASMR part of it?
Yes.
You know, I hate ASMR.
You hate ASMR.
Like,
Oh no.
People. Oh god. Because I'm. Stop this.
What the heck? Ooh. This is have you had this before?
Yeah.
Sweet cake.
Yeah.
Oh, it's actually made in Australia.
You just take it.
I guess so. You could also, if you want to also try the coconut pandan mochi. Good?
Yeah.
I tried really hard to find some Burmese snacks before. But it's really hard to find Burmese snacks.
Here there's one in Backtown, but I think they closed. I think my friends are really big on like Burmese snacks and Burmese food. Because they can cook they can cook. I couldn't go, but I'm not like picky at all with food and like snacks and stuff. So I'm pretty adept to like food and in Australia and everything. Yeah, I do miss like, you know, sometimes home like cooked meals or like those kind of stuff.
Do you want to
I would
explain
like
some
to.
of these food? Or what am I looking
Oh
at
my
here?
god, I'm not expert at it, but that's an egg.
That's an egg?
Duck egg.
Duck egg.
Yeah. The soup is the most important thing. The soup is like a fish sauce soup. Like fish sauce soup, yeah. And that one is really popular. That one is like a tea leaf salad with like peanuts and like a lot of spice and everything. Can you Google the tea leaf salad, Burmese tea leaf salad?
Can you teach me something in Burmese?
Say hello in Mingalaba.
Mingalaba?
Yeah.
That means hello?
Yeah.
Ah, Mingalaba.
Yeah, Mingalaba. Yeah, that's kind of like where if the guests come to your house or something like that.
Mingalaba.
Mingalaba.
You want to try this one too?
What is that?
This is coconut pandan mochi.
Okay.
You've had mochi before.
Yeah, I do.
Such a Asian.
There's like a lychee mochi. It's good as well.
Oh, lychee mochi. I've never tried this one. So this is coconut pandan mochi.
Pandan mochi.
I love the pandan flavor. This is the crinkle of the paper.
Proper ASMR.
ASMR. You hate it?
I don't mind, but like, you know, I have a problem with people like chewing like. I'm going to slap them in the face.
Do it again.
Don't slap me, please.
Like some of them are not even intentionally, you know, like a lot of slurps and stuff. Okay.
That's not bad. All right. Well, where can people find you on social media? So I got the opportune moment to like.
Well, yeah. I have a Instagram account that I just started. It's photography account where I'm gonna hopefully post more photos. I think it's long_.myintzue. And I'm gonna try to grow and like see what I like to do creatively.
I can't wait to see your creativity.
I think I'm surrounded by, you know,
The right people.
couple right people, so I can start it.
Or the wrong people.
All the wrong people.
Give her a follow, like her photos.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for joining me on the lounge.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. Catch you in the next episode.